Hi, I'm Kim Fuller, owner and founder of Fuller Life Concepts, where I help you stay accountable to your goals. I was feeling, I don't know, I guess taken advantage of and a little bit frustrated and annoyed. And you know what that does? That causes me to pause and rewind and think about why is it happening. So I was doing this negotiation with a person that I wanted to hire, and I felt like, I had set a rate. That person kind of didn't like the rate, so negotiate. Totally awesome. I think negotiating is a great skill to have, and it's important so that everybody gets their needs met. But at this particular negotiation, this person was getting going really outside the range and then getting irritated at me because I wasn't willing to go that far. So they wanted 10% more than what I was willing to offer them. That doesn't sound like much, but it actually was outside of the range. And so one of the things that happens is here we are going back and forth, and I had to pause. Like, why am I in this debate with this person? Why am I arguing with this person? And I could tell you why. I had to check myself because I really needed this person to take on some business. I really needed that person to do something for me that I didn't have the time to do for myself. And so what was happening, this person was getting to the point of where I was feeling taken advantage of. I was worried about the loss of this person, like not being able to hire her, that how that was going to affect me. So I was really fearful of not making this negotiation work. It's a bad place to come from when you're trying to negotiate something. And why did this all happen? It all has to do with boundaries and when your lines are blurred. Yes, I love that song, Blurred Lines, but it should not come into play when you're trying to do some kind of a negotiation for yourself. Because when you have really strong boundaries, when you understand where your limit is, it improves your ability to make healthy decisions and choices for yourself. And it also improves your self-esteem and it nurtures confidence. I was not in a confident place when I was having this negotiation because I was stuck in fear, worried about whether or not she would take this position. That's not a healthy negotiating spot because here I am, my lines were blurred. She got to a point where I was thinking, no, you're above my rate. I needed to just say, okay, this isn't a job for you. But instead, out of fear, I'm trying to work it through. How many times have we done that? I can think of other times when I have allowed my boundaries to be blurred, when it was gray, when it was unclear to where the limit was. Oftentimes you could see that in relationships. So if you find yourself arguing or debating, lines are blurred because you should know where your limit is. And when you get to that limit, you can just stop and walk away and say, hey, I'm done. I'm out. There are a couple that I wrote down that are opportunities for us to reflect on whether or not our boundaries are unclear, where our limits have been tested. One is when you realize that you stayed in a situation too long. Relationship, job, home, something. When you realize you stayed in it too long and you start complaining and complaining and complaining about the situation, that's where you did not set a clear boundary. There's no clear understanding of where your limit is. You might want to rethink that. When you are in some kind of a dynamic, whether that's employment or relationship, when it's you're amazing, you're horrible, you're amazing, and there's this back and forth, there's nothing in the middle, because none of us are amazing or horrible. There's a lot of areas in between in which you can use to describe our interactions with you. That's when it's not clear about where your boundaries are. Another one is if you feel like you're constantly being taken advantage of in some situation. Clearly, that was my issue in this one. Or if you find that you are just fighting and debating way too often. You shouldn't be fighting and debating. Yes, it can be fun for sport, but when it comes to your life, your happiness, your health, you shouldn't argue and debate. If you say, hey, I need you to take out the garbage, it should not be a debate or discussion. You should already have established what the rules and the boundaries and the limits are. If you struggle with that, like I know I have, what I did is I reached out and I hired a life coach. And she is helping me through managing and evolving. And I deserve it. And so do you. So if you're looking for some support, I have options for you. You can reach out to me. I can share with you some of the resources, or you can hire me as your coach. I have an upcoming retreat that I think it might be perfect for you to join, especially if any of these resonated with you, because chances are they may have. And it's an opportunity for you to take care of you and to get your needs met. So click the link below to find out more about my fall all-in retreat, and I will see you next week. What are you doing for this week and beyond? You're thinking about where are your limits, where are your boundaries. My boundary is now that I offer you this much. If that's not sufficient, then I need to go to the next person. I cannot make decisions out of fear. My boundary is, if we are arguing or debating about issues, no more, because I've already set the boundary. I've already set the limits, and you're testing them. And when you're testing them, that means that it's not going to be useful for me anymore. It's now diminishing the importance, and I never want to work around fear and making decisions based on the perceived loss of something. So if that's a struggle, join me and work on that this week and beyond. I'd love to hear your comments. Have a great day.